So today we're gonna make this marker box. I have made a few others. This one is for my water-based markers and it was made from an old box for dishwashing soaps, and this one is for alcohol markers, but I needed another one for my pit pens. And this one, it was the easiest to make because I already had the boxes that could fit one on top of the other from some new underwear. One more thing, I like to have the color chart with the name of the set nearby so I can know which colors were originally in a set because they go together nicely, and also to just see how some color looks on a paper, because with markers these are not always the same, as you know. I also like to make a color chart like this where they're all one after the other in the order that I have them in the box. So let's get to it and see how it's done. So what do we need for the II marker storage box? Let's check it out. We'll need scissors, utility knife or carpenter's knife or whatever very sturdy knife, PVA glue, that is also called white glue or wood glue, you know, the normal glue for porous materials, rubber bands to hold the box together, and 2 boxes or more boxes that are sturdy and that you can recycle. Mine are from from new panties that I got, and I will just glue everything together so that I get a nice box for my markers. And to decorate the box we'll need some kind of paper. I have my old calendar here, and maybe a pencil and ruler would come in handy. And that's it. First of all, we need to cut off this upper part that is hanging from my box. If your box doesn't have any protrusions, you can skip this step, of course. Here you need a strong knife. Don't worry about messing up this part, we will cover it later. You can neaten the edges a little bit with scissors and or knife. Now let's glue this together. Arrange them as you like, see if it looks good to you, and then just glue it. There are 2 ways here. My box is made from 2 parts and I will use both of them, and that's why one part of the box is bigger than the other, as you can see. And what I can do is put the little ones in the middle so that I have the bigger boxes at the edges, or I can just put 2 of the big boxes at the bottom and the little ones at the top. Whatever you prefer to do. Spread the glue liberally all around. The glue should always be applied thinly and ideally to both surfaces that you want to glue together. Now everybody knows what kind of panties I've got, huh? Well, I don't think too many people would be interested in that, but... And we just glue them together. Watch out that the edges are well aligned. Now let's apply glue to the other box. Don't worry about some glue that will be left out because of the box. This box is smaller and it will not reach the ends. It will not matter, I think. This box is pretty sturdy, so I was really like, I don't want to throw this one away, I just want to use it for something. And if you don't have the box like this, you can always make a box with your measurements and just build it from bigger boxes, from, you know, if you get something delivered and it's in a box, then you can always use that box for that. And let's do it again. With this black box it's really easy to see where the glue was applied and how thinly. And the last one. After you've built everything together, take your trusty old rubber bands and put them over so that everything will stay aligned. It will be much easier if everything is well aligned. You could put more elastics on, but the important thing that it's sturdy enough. Now I will leave this to dry and see you back when it's done. Okay. So now our marker box is dried and we have to just cover it. To cover the box we have to have a paper that is big enough. I used this really old calendar and just roughly measure out. I think it is easier if you crease the paper first. And then I apply glue. You could use a brush for this step. I just found out it's quicker to wash my hands than it is to wash my brushes. So here is just my finger. Otherwise I have to wash the whole brush, and that's why I use my fingers for this. And it's really easy to feel where the glue is and how much glue there is. So that's why I like it, but you do you, as they say. I realize not everybody likes to have glue on their fingers. My little daughter was like that when she was little. She really hated to have her hands dirty. Toddlers. Now she doesn't mind. Now she likes all kind of fun. But when she was little, she really hated that. We all have our little quirks. I'm gonna align everything with these lines because that makes it easier. If you use your finger, then try not to touch the outside with your finger, of course. So it's best to have one hand or a few fingers reserved for the smoothing, and I'm doing this with my palm, but you could use other fingers or you could go and wash your hands, of course. Now I'll fold the flaps and cut to the box so I can glue it. I glue these parts down, and I like to have this part really sturdy, so I'll glue this part and this part and this part. But I don't want to make it bulky in the corners, so I cut this wedge out. And I measure everything. For the last flap I will cut off this part because it will be bulky if I leave it. And then I will fold over so that I cover this edge, so that the edge is really sturdy. If you put glue into the corners, you will make them stiffer and sturdier, so I highly recommend that. This is the box that we will be taking in and out all the time, and it will probably get quite some use, hopefully, so it's good to make it really sturdy and nice. I will first glue this flap on and then everything down. Here I'm using the normal PVA glue. It's not diluted or anything. It's just straight out of the bottle. It's also called wood glue or white glue or glue for porous materials, and it's a very nice glue. It's really very, very practical. It dries clear. Now we repeat everything on the other side. This calendar we had in my old job, and it's all about microscopes and different lenses and so on. Now we've got our base covered, and we just need to fold these parts inwards. You don't need to worry too much about this part because it will be folded inside, and we cut it till the edge, as you can see. And we also want to do that little wedgie thingy. We cut the wedges off. These two parts will fold nicely inside. But this we have to cut so that they will fit inside. And on the other side. Now we just glue all the flaps in. Take special care around the edges. Also on the fold. You want to put more glue there so that it strengthens the fold. If you get some glue somewhere where you didn't want to, it's not the end of the world, this glue dries clear. But of course it's nice if you just brush it off while it's still wet. It's water soluble and it brushes off very nicely. Just putting glue down, press firmly. I'll repeat everything on the other side. Press down firmly so everything will be nicely pressed. And this is it. This is your marker box. Just let it dry and fill it up, and I'll show you how it looks.